Imagine a man who steps into chaos and bends it to his will without breaking a sweat. Picture him walking away from a fight not because he's weak, but because he knows it's beneath him. Envision a figure so unshakable that the world's loudest screams fade into whispers around him. This is the Sigma male, a force of quiet, unyielding power. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we strip away the noise and dive deep into the raw, unrelenting mindset of men who live by their own rules. This isn't about flexing muscles or chasing applause, it's about mastering yourself, cutting through the clutter and standing tall when the world expects you to kneel. Today we're unleashing 11 terrifying things Sigma males do that leave alpha men trembling in their shadows. These aren't just traits, they're weapons of independence forged in resilience and wielded with precision. If you're here, you're not looking for permission, you're here to claim what's yours. Let's begin. 1. The Ghost Protocol. Sigmas don't just leave, they vanish with surgical precision, cutting ties without a flicker of malice. When a relationship, friendship, or obligation stops serving their growth or drags them down, they don't waste energy on dramatic goodbyes or petty blame. They simply dial back the frequency, letting silence do the work, until all that's left is the faint echo of their presence. It's not cowardice, it's clarity, a stoic recognition that not every bond deserves their time. They move forward, unburdened, guided by an inner compass that prioritizes their path over others' expectations. This is self-mastery in motion. No apologies, no regrets, just the quiet strength to let go. The terrifying edge lies in their emotional armor. Guilt trips bounce off them like rain on steel. Manipulation finds no foothold in a man who's already free. While others beg for closure or cling to fading connections, the Sigma's absence stings because it's final, not a punishment but an evolution. Alphas might roar to assert their exit, but the Sigma's silence cuts deeper, leaving the world to wrestle with the unsettling truth. They've been outgrown and there's nothing they can do about it. That's the kind of power that haunts. 2. Architects of reality. Sigmas don't break rules, they ignore them, seeing them as flimsy sketches for a life they'd never live. Societal norms, corporate ladders, unspoken pecking orders. These are suggestions, not laws, and if they don't hold up under a cold, rational gaze, they're discarded like dead weight. With a stoic lens, they build their world on principles that endure, not on the shifting sands of convention. They don't storm the system, they sidestep it entirely, crafting their own structure where logic, not tradition, reigns supreme. It's not rebellion, it's creation born from a mind that refuses to be caged. What terrifies others is how this unravels the game. You can't punish a man who doesn't recognize your rules or fear your judgment. Alphas thrive on dominating the maze, but the Sigma walks away and builds his own kingdom, exposing the fragility of the systems others cling to. Their calm rejection of the script isn't loud or flashy. It's a quiet demolition that leaves the world scrambling to justify its own foundations. That's power, not in fighting the machine but in rendering it irrelevant. 3. The Unclaimed Throne. Sigmas don't dodge competition out of weakness. They sidestep it with regal indifference. They've got the brains, the grit, the raw ability to crush most arenas, yet they watch the race for status with a smirk, like it's a child's game. The trophies and titles others claw for? Cheap trinkets compared to the unseen empire they're forging. Rooted in stoic detachment, they know real power isn't in the crown, it's in the freedom to build something greater, away from the spotlight. They don't need to prove anything, their work does the talking. The terror here is in their stealth. While alphas bleed for applause and validation, the Sigma's victories creep up unannounced, towering over the petty wins others celebrate. They don't shout their triumphs, they live them, leaving the loudest players exposed as insecure. That quiet ascent, unshackled by the need for recognition, flips the script on dominance. It's not about winning the throne, it's about proving you never needed it. And that's a truth alphas can't face without flinching. 4. The Mirror War. Sigmas don't just face their flaws, they wage war on them, tearing down every illusion with brutal honesty. They dig into their biases, shred their excuses, and burn their ego to ash, rebuilding from the ground up with stoic clarity. This isn't self-doubt, it's a relentless pursuit of truth, a refusal to hide behind comforting lies. They question their motives, test their strength, and emerge sharper, stronger, unshakable. It's a battle fought in silence, where the only enemy is the weaker version of themselves they refuse to tolerate. This makes them untouchable. Flattery falls flat on a man who's already seen through his own mask. Criticism can't wound someone who's faced worse in his own mind. Alphas might flex to hide their cracks, but the Sigma's strength is forged in that inner crucible, raw, real, and impossible to fake. Their resilience isn't loud bravado, it's the quiet certainty of a man who's conquered himself. That self-mastery? It's a weapon no one can disarm, and it terrifies those who rely on others' weaknesses. 5. The silent sovereignty. Sigmas don't chase applause, they don't need it. Their worth flows from an internal spring, deep and steady, untouched by the world's noise. Likes, praise, the crowd's roar, these are currencies they don't trade in, meaningless against the stoic reward of their own growth. They build, they strive, they live for themselves, not for a pat on the back. It's not arrogance, it's independence, a life fueled by purpose, not validation. Their progress is their prize, and that's enough. The terror comes from their invincibility. You can't sway a man who doesn't crave your approval. You can't break what's already whole. Alphas thrive on the spotlight, but the Sigma's quiet fortress of self-worth stands beyond reach, unshaken by praise or scorn. That detachment isn't cold, it's liberating, a power so absolute it leaves others grasping at shadows. In a world hooked on external noise, their silence is a roar no one can silence. Look at your life right now. Are you dancing for a crowd that doesn't care, or carving a path that's yours alone? That itch you feel watching this, the pull to ditch the script and trust your own voice? That's the Sigma calling. Tune out the chaos. What burns true in the quiet of your own head? That's your guide. Now let's dive back into the truths that make the world shiver. 6. The Unflinching Inquiry. Sigmas don't bow to authority, they dissect it, wielding questions like a blade against bloated dogma. They challenge nonsense head-on, not for chaos but for truth, slicing through because I said so, with stoic reason. Blind loyalty? That's a death sentence to the mind. They confront systems, bosses, traditions, calmly, directly, until the absurdity collapses under its own weight. It's not disrespect, it's a refusal to let lies stand unchallenged. That clarity is what terrifies. They don't flinch at titles or threats, loyal only to what holds up under scrutiny. Alphas might flex rank to silence dissent, but the Sigma's logic strips the emperor bare, leaving power scrambling for cover. Their questions aren't loud rebellions, they're quiet executions of falsehood, and that precision cuts deeper than any shout. In a world built on obedience, their courage to think is pure, unshakable menace. 7. The board flip phenomenon. Sigmas don't play society's chess, they tip the table and walk away. They see the posturing, the networking, the fake smiles for what they are, a rigged circus. Instead of moving pieces, they reject the board entirely, crafting their own game with stoic focus on what matters. Social climbing? Status chases? They're traps for the desperate, not paths for the free. Sigmas build their own ship while others sink with the old one. The terror is in their exit. Alphas hustle for a seat at a broken table, but the Sigma's refusal exposes the whole charade. They don't just quit, they redefine winning, operating on rules the old guard can't grasp. That calm dismissal isn't defiance, it's a checkmate no one saw coming. In a world obsessed with the game, their freedom to walk away is a power that leaves everyone else reeling. 8. The Fortress of Solitude. Sigmas don't spill their souls, they guard them, keeping plans, strengths, and scars locked tight. It's not deceit, it's strategy, a stoic shield against a world that pries too much. Their inner sanctum stays uncharted, even to those they trust most, preserving their autonomy like a fortress. Silence isn't fear, it's power, a well they draw from without needing to explain. They reveal only what serves their purpose, nothing more. That mystery unnerves. You never know their next step, their full strength, or what's brewing behind the calm. Alphas broadcast their might, but the Sigma's quiet reserve hints at depths no one can measure, an unpredictable force that keeps everyone guessing. It's not isolation, it's invincibility. In a culture of oversharing, their secrecy is a wall no one breaches, and that unknown is pure dread. 9. The Liberated No. Sigmas say no like it's a law, clean, sharp, unapologetic. They don't soften it with excuses or dance around feelings. They cut straight to self-ownership with stoic resolve. Their time, their energy, their peace, it's theirs to protect, not anyone's to claim. Refusal isn't rudeness, it's a boundary carved in stone, a declaration of worth. They don't owe you a reason and they don't care if you sulk. That's the terror. Manipulation dies against their no. Guilt, flattery, pressure. They shatter on impact, useless against a man who knows his value. Alphas might flex to please or control, but the Sigma's refusal teaches a hard lesson. You don't own him. That efficiency, that steel, turns their denial into a mirror reflecting others' weakness. In a world begging for yes, their no is a thunderclap of freedom. 10. The Golden Cage Walkaway. Sigmas don't cling to power, they ditch it when it costs too much. Influence is a tool, not their soul, and the second it threatens their integrity or calm, they're gone, no glance back. With stoic wisdom, they see the trap in status, the chains behind the gold. Walking away isn't defeat, it's liberation, a flex of true strength. They don't need the throne to know who they are. The terror hits when others see it. Alphas hoard titles like lifelines, but the Sigma's indifference lays bare the desperation in that grip. They prove power's real test isn't holding on, it's letting go and standing taller for it. That freedom, that ease in walking from what others worship, leaves the world stunned. In a game of control, their exit is the ultimate checkmate. 11. The Uninterpreted Self. Sigmas don't care if you get them, they don't need you to. They flow like unseen currents, vast and deep, unbothered by the surface chatter of judgment or gossip. Stoic to the core, they're at peace being a riddle, finding strength in their own skin, not your labels. Misunderstand them, cheer them, hate them, it's all noise they glide beneath. Their worth doesn't hinge on your take. That's the terror, you can't touch them. Shame, praise, guilt, no leverage works on a man who's already whole. Alphas crave the crowd's echo, but the Sigma's enigma starves it out, leaving a void that rattles the insecure. Their quiet, uncontainable presence doesn't demand attention, it commands it effortlessly. In a world hooked on validation, their detachment is a power that humbles without trying. Here's the raw truth. Sigma power isn't about ruling others, it's about ruling yourself, crafting a life so solid no storm can shake it. The Sigma male community isn't just a channel, it's your forge, hammering out the tools for independence, resilience, and a strength that doesn't need a stage. These 11 traits? They're your map to a life alphas can't touch, a blueprint for men who choose growth over glory. If this hit you square in the chest, smash that like button. Let's show the world what real power looks like. Drop a comment. Which of these truths lit a fire in you? Share this with the rare few who'd get it, spread the signal. And if you're already in, hit that bell, turn on notifications so you never miss the next drop. We're building something unstoppable here, a brotherhood of men who don't bend, don't break, and don't beg. Reflect on this. Live it. You're not just watching, you're rising. Stay sharp, stay Sigma. See you in the next one.